Hey guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Tuesday night. I know we are running a little bit behind. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we got it taken care of. But welcome to Orlando Theme Parks and Attractions. We are excited to chat it up, especially because the summertime is, pretty much here. And here in Orlando, we get to deal with a lot of the afternoon showers and kind of like just storms that hit out of nowhere and pretty fast, to be honest with you. And so we kind of wanted to talk about a little bit of what you can do indoors in Orlando, in the surrounding areas when it does rain. So like where you can bring the kids, what you could do if you're vacationing in the area. So we're going to go ahead and get into that. So Megan, why don't you talk about kind of like what you guys do as a family when it rains and kind of like the attractions that you guys like to visit and stuff like that.
All right, so we always joke that it's the summer tsunami because it's like you could be chill, it could be wonderful out, and then all of a sudden it's torrential downpour and lightning and everything else. So we'll do one of two things. If we know that we're going to be doing a day in the parks, that's a little different, so we'll come back to that topic in a few minutes. But if we're for sure not going to go spend a day in the parks and we want something fun to do, a fun one for us is always Crayola Experience. We love to go in there because you can kill a whole day playing. You can sneak out to the food court mall and go eat a big lunch. There's a bazillion different options. I think that's where Fat Ones is, isn't it? Joey Fatone. I think that's his place is over there.
I think so. I don't remember.
I think so. But so you can sneak out, go grab food, come back in, and it's one of those all-day attractions that's indoor, but it's not going to grate your nerves after a little bit because some of the indoor attractions kind of get on your nerves if you're there too long. The other thing that we would probably hit is over in the Icon area where the Orlando Eye is, because they have so many indoor options there. They've got Tussauds, they've got the sea life, but what's really neat over there is skeletons. The Skeleton Museum. Have you guys been yet?
We have not.
Oh, girl, it is incredible. Okay, So what they've done is it's a museum completely filled with different skeletons from animals and people, but they're all safely sourced. So these aren't going to be a situation where an animal or a person was harmed in order to acquire this skeleton. Instead, these are things where an animal has passed of natural causes and then the skeleton's been donated. But it's a really interesting place to visit because they have a lot of informational stuff with each area, and they have a scavenger hunt for the kids. So the kids are able to kind of, instead of, oh my gosh, this is boring, it's just a bunch of skulls, I want to go home. It's, right. Oh my gosh, I have to find the skeleton of this and that, and I have to find the giraffe, and they have anything from like teeny tiny ones all the way to a massive whale shark up on the sky.
Oh, wow.
On the ceiling. And then they have a giraffe, they have a rhino. It's just a really neat place. We were really impressed with it when we went last. What about you? Where do you guys go?
So we have visited the Crayola Experience. That's a good one, I would have to say. Another good one, I live in Titusville, so for me, it's always cool to visit the Kennedy Space Center, because there is a lot of stuff to do inside. There's a lot of history that you can cover, and you can easily stay, for 2-3 hours just exploring. They have a cool little area for the kids. They can slide down and stuff like that inside. And if you're lucky enough, sometimes you can actually meet an astronaut. It just depends on the schedule and what it looks like. But there's definitely a lot of cool stuff to do at the Kennedy Space Center. Another big thing too is if you're looking for like a indoor place, there's a lot of the trampoline places. Defy Orlando is a really good place to visit. It's a little bit different than Sky Zone. I like it a little bit more because it's a little bit more open, and they have a lot more stuff to do with the kids and everything like that. So those are always, fun as well. And probably if you're looking for like something to do that's like a thrill type thing is the Andretti indoor go-karting. That's always fun to do. I have boys, so that's like, adrenaline rush central, that they're like, yeah, let's go. So that's always a good one for you to visit also.
In that vein, also the indoor skydiving. My son's done
Yeah.
that, and he had a blast.
Yeah.
It
We
is
did
on
that
a
in
fair
Tampa.
price point, so anticipate that.
Mhm.
There's one in Orlando.
Yeah.
And I think, there's one in Orlando. They moved
It's on International Drive.
Yeah, it used to be in one part and they moved it. But he did that and he had a blast. He got to fly like up into the tunnel and spun and do all kinds of fun stuff. That is a higher price point, so plan a budget accordingly, because I mean, it's not going to be your $15 attraction. It's going to be a little bit more out of pocket. And it's not going to be an all day thing. That's going to be more of a, you're in there for an hour and then you're on with your day kind of thing. Another thing that we really like is outlet shopping. If I know that I'm going to be stuck in the rain, I'm going to go hit some of the outlets. I'm going to go see what they've got on sale, and I'm going to go check out some of that just for fun, just because sometimes it's fun to just go window shopping.
It is. It kills time, and just depending. Sometimes the kids have fun, sometimes they don't. It just depends on the age category. Like yours would probably be a lot more like inclined to be like, yeah, okay, let's do this. Mine are a little bit smaller, so for them it's kind of like, if I don't keep them active and keep them not bored, then it becomes an issue.
Oh, I can understand that for sure. It's my youngest is still in that age, depending on where we're going. If it grabs his interest, he's all about it. But if not, then he's bored within minutes.
Yeah.
He's been known to carry like a bucket of Lego guys in his backpack for places that he gets bored. I have seen him build Lego guys everywhere.
Aww. Yeah. Also too, there's a couple great places, honestly, on International Drive that are really, really great to just do stuff indoors. Ripley's
Wonderworks, right?
Yeah, Ripley's, I was gonna say, Wonderworks is a really good place to just have a couple hours of fun. They have like 3 different levels. On the top, you could do laser tag. You could do like a 3D ride, and they have a huge arcade place. Also, Main Event is one of our favorites too. You can spend hours there. It's huge arcade. They have a place to eat. They have it's not zip lining, but it's kind of like an indoor obstacle course type thing. And they have bowling, so you could easily spend a couple hours in there, doing that type of stuff.
Another one is to do a movie day. There's some really good movie theaters in the Orlando area. Our personal favorites used to be the Artagon Mall. If you Google Artagon Cinemark, you can still find it. The tickets there, depending on time of day, can go anywhere from $5 up to $10. And then if you do like 40 or anything else, it adds up a lot more. But the cool thing about them are 2 things. One, because I'm OCD as all get out, I can reserve my seat. So your girl can be right in the middle of the place where I like to be, and I don't have to worry about everybody stealing my spot. I'm not Sheldon, no. And then the other thing I like about it too, though, is all of the seats are giant recliners with like footrests that roll out, and it's super cushy and comfortable. So you're not really doing the whole prop your feet up on the people in front of you. It's stadium seating as well, so you're not looking over anybody's head. You're able to just lay back, relax, and watch a good movie. So we like a good movie when we're having a day when we don't want to be out in the rain.
Yeah, I agree. Movies are always great, to pass the time and, do that type of thing. But other than that, I mean, there's plenty. I mean, Orlando has so much to do, honestly. And if you're like, I just don't know, there's a ton of dinner shows that are inside that you can also have a good time with. If it's raining, Medieval Times is a big one. I know that there's also there's a pirate adventure one. There's the Slews mystery one.
You know which one I love if you're going out without the kids? Because this one's not going to necessarily be a kid-friendly one. But if you're going out, say, date night or something to that effect, is Sleuth. Sloop Dinner Show is right over there near the Orlando Eye and all of that. And it's a mystery dinner show. So you're actually going to be solving the mystery while you're having dinner, but it's very comedic. It's not super serious. It's a lot of jokes and it's very improv. So they know where they're going with the story, but how they get there is always a lot of fun, and they involve the audience. So that one's a lot of fun. Medieval Times is less audience involvement, but the food there is incredible.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I would say, and I know we mentioned Icon, but for those of you not familiar with it, so Icon has a little bit of everything. It has places to eat. There is the Orlando Eye, which is indoor.
And you love the Eye, don't you?
No, I don't. I'm scared of heights. And I personally probably would not go on it while it's raining because I can't handle like wind and rain hitting something that I'm going around in a circle with. But for those of you out there that like that type of stuff, there is that to do. And then also in the same vicinity or the same facility, you can go to the Sea Life Aquarium. So they have a really nice aquarium. And sometimes they have different people speaking about the different animals and stuff like that. And then you also have the Madame Tussauds Wax Museum. And they're always getting new wax models and stuff like that. So, and that's all in the same vicinity. So that's another 2-3 hours of fun that you can have in one spot and not have to worry about, leaving or going outside or anything like that.
For sure. So let's kind of shift gears a little bit. Let's say that you are doing a theme park day and the forecast says rain. Let's talk about kind of what do we pack in our bags before we ever walk out of the hotel room or out of the house. So for you, what would you say are your must-have items if you know it's going to be a rainy day anyway?
Yeah, so usually in the summertime, you always want to make sure that you're prepared. So we usually pack a bag. We have an umbrella. We have, and it's not like one of these large size umbrellas, that you're going to have to haul everywhere, but just a medium sized umbrella that you can put like in a bag with you. And we always make sure we have ponchos. So everybody has a poncho with them just in case. So we don't have to scramble everywhere because it is really difficult. I have little ones and it's just really hard for me to run with them and carry them everywhere. So it's better off that they have their own poncho, and that way I don't have to, worry too much about it or anything like that. But yeah, those are like, and then I usually bring like one towel, just in case, like, we do get a little bit soaked or anything like that, we can dry off. And because I have littles, I always bring an extra pair of clothes with me for them, because if they get dirty or whatnot, they get too sweaty. So if they are too wet, then at least I have an extra pair of clothes for them.
And then for us, a couple things that we like to have, or at least when they were smaller. I mean, it's not as much now, but when they were smaller, I would throw in a pair of water shoes, because there's nothing worse than a cranky kid with a wet pair of sneakers and socks. And flip-flops, a lot of people default to flip-flops, but those get wet and slippery going through the parks. So if you throw a pair of water shoes in your bag, then Lord forbid if their socks get wet, you're able to throw them in a pair of water shoes, and they can hike it through the park and feel like they're cool because they're in their pool shoes. The other thing that I'm big about throwing in my bag is a big Ziploc bag, because if you've got phones, if you've got a camera, anything along those lines, you can bag those up just so that the water doesn't hit them. And then when the storm's over, all your gear and all your technology is still clean and still safe. Because the last thing you want to do is bring your nice camera to Disney because you wanted pictures, or to Universal, and then have it rain on you and have your camera get ruined or your phone get ruined. And so that's a big thing to have on you. And if you're going to keep your phone out because you don't want to miss things during the rain, get one of those waterproof phone cases. You can wear them on a lanyard or whatever the case may be. That way you can still have your phone accessible, but you're not worrying about water damage.
Yeah. And I was going to say, I carry a Canon camera around a lot. And I purposely bought a waterproof backpack for that reason, just in case It does rain. I don't have to worry about that or anything like that. But I do recommend getting like the pouches for the cell phones because they will get wet.
Yeah.
If you pull them out or whatnot. And I also I forgot, I bring hats for the kids. I put hats on them so that they have them on top of the ponchos so that the water doesn't get, sometimes the poncho water will drip down into their stuff and it kind of deters the water from getting, more on them.
And if
So
you're doing Disney, you definitely want to hit the Disney outlet over there on Vineland before you go. A lot of the times I'll see the ponchos over there for like $2 or $3 when you're going to pay $15 for them in the park.
yeah, and I mean,
So if you want that Mickey poncho and you don't want that dollar store poncho, hit the outlet.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, but yeah, and when you are traveling to the theme parks, there are certain theme parks that, you want to be prepared for, especially if it's going to rain, because some places have more indoor places than others.
Very true.
So like Epcot is very, you can pretty much go inside in a couple of different places and stuff like that. There's different places for you to hang out. Magic Kingdom is another good place that, you can pretty much find coverage and stuff like that. Hollywood Studios is fairly decent, but
it depends on the crowd level.
It's spread out. So that's the only thing I could say. Especially like if you're in Toy Story Land and stuff like that, there's not much coverage. So
I would say the same for Animal Kingdom too. There's not a great, there's tree coverage, but there's not like good, serious, solid coverage. So
if you're park hopping and it's going to rain at the time that you're supposed to go to like Animal Kingdom or to Hollywood Studios, I would plan to maybe go after the showers come through and go to a park that has better coverage. So you're not stuck,
And the other thing is in Central Florida, our rainstorms typically hit between 1 and like 4. So if you know that you're going to be taking, a trip back to the room to take a nap, plan it during that time. That way the rain has a chance to pass and, you're able to go back out and enjoy the park and everybody's a little more rested up. Because, I know that it's pretty predictable. And a lot of Floridians will tell you that we can feel when it's coming. So here's how you know. The temperature is going to drop a little bit. Not drastically, but you're going to feel a cooler breeze coming in. It's going to smell fresher out. I know that sounds silly, but right, Niccole? Like there's a different smell when rain is coming. And then you're going to watch and you're going to see all the Floridians start to take cover. When you see the Floridians move, you should move too. Because we've been here for a minute and we know how to hide. But when you feel that temperature start to drop, know that, there might be rain coming. And so you want to kind of find yourself an indoor attraction. The other thing you can do, especially with Disney, is go ahead and fast pass indoor attractions during that time when it's typically going to rain. Because then you know that you're under the cover. Like if you're in Epcot, go do Living with the Land and go do Soarin' during that 1 to 4 block. That way you've got the chance to spend some time indoors. Or, if you're at Magic Kingdom, go ride Haunted Mansion, go ride some of the Mickey's Filler Magic, some of those indoor things. At Studios, I would probably do the Frozen show because that runs fairly long. So that would
Yeah, I was going to say, like, for the afternoon, it's always safe if you have at least one musical or show that you can see because chances are it's going to rain. So if you can get into a show or a music show, I would definitely get into one of those because it's at least, 30, 35 minutes of that. And so, at least the kids are in there, they're entertained, and you don't have to worry, about being stuck without being able to do much.
It's also a great place to nap younger kids because you're able to give them a break before you keep moving the rest of your day. And then as far as like Universal, I would say Jimmy Fallon because you're going to have a long queue because the queue there has the performers. And so you're going to be waiting a little bit in the queue. Let me see. Who else has a good indoor queue? It's probably going to be Diagon Alley. The Escape from Gringotts has a pretty decent length of the queue that's covered. Fast and the Furious is mostly indoors. So you could also do that one and you'd have a good indoor queue. And then Kong has mostly an indoor queue as well. So either of those would give you a good option to kind of get out of the rain. If you're doing Universal or Islands, it might not be a bad idea to get the express queue. It's going to cost you a little more, but you can walk right onto the rides most of the time. So that'll give you a chance to get out of the rain.
That makes sense.
Definitely. Just because, I mean, if it's going to rain, yeah, you could brave it and you can get drenched. But I'm telling you guys, those of you who don't know, it goes from completely sunny to torrential downpour in about 2 minutes.
It really does. No joke. Like, it really, really does.
We always say if you don't like the weather in Florida, wait 10 minutes, it'll change.
Yeah. Or you'll feel like it's raining on one side of the road and the other side it's not. So
exactly.
You just never know what you're gonna get. But yeah, there's a lot of different things, from restaurants to shopping to theme parks to indoor attractions. I mean, Orlando pretty much has a little bit of everything.
Definitely.
So
you know which one I forgot? Orlando Science Center. That would be a brilliant place to spend a day because it's 3 or 4 floors of just nonstop ability for kids to be able to see alligators and then go into another planet and do all these different things. And it's a self-contained experience where you're going to be able to spend a whole day easily and you get to stay out of the rain for the whole time.
I agree. Yeah, any of the museums really are really good. The Children's Museum's really good. The Art Museum's really good. So any of them will keep the kids entertained. The Science Center will definitely keep them entertained. They have an indoor
and it's all hands-on.
They have an indoor play place. So I mean, it's definitely a lot. You can spend about 2-3 hours in there. Also. But yeah, and there's plenty of malls around too.
Oh,
so, you can always, and the malls usually have a little place for the kids to play and stuff like that. And there's places to eat and all that good stuff. So, there is plenty to do in Orlando for that.
Definitely.
But, any final thoughts, Megan, before we go?
I would say, if you're water parking it, check the forecast and see what your rain percentage is in the afternoon. Because if you're planning on doing an entire day there, you might want to pick a day with a lower rain percentage. If not, know that you may get rained out because when it comes to theme parks, when it comes to water parks, everything will not run that's outside if there's even a sound of thunder within, I think it's a 30-mile radius.
Yep, and they usually wait 30 minutes after they've heard thunder pretty much.
Exactly. So
if there's lightning, I mean, it's going to be longer. So
just anticipate if you're going to be at a water park or if you're going to be at a park and you're wanting to ride those outdoor attractions, that the rain may shut you down for anywhere from half an hour to 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
Depending on what the weather's doing that day here.
Yeah, and you might not have to wait very long because I remember last year we went to Aquatica in the middle smack of June. And we had the afternoon showers, and it was like a quick 30-minute shower downpour. And then we waited about 30 minutes, and we were good to go. The sun came out, and it was like nothing ever happened. So, but yeah, you just want to be prepared for them. That's all.
Definitely.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Make sure that you tune in next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will be sharing with you guys some more awesomeness from over here in Orlando. So we thank you, and we hope you guys have a good night. Thanks, Megan, for joining me again.
Bye. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.